Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to episode 21. Yeah, 21 of the Number 9 with Tommy podcast. We're not going to use it's just the Number 9 with motherfucker. Pat's trying not to laugh. I told Pat, let me do the intro today because, well, he came unprepared, of course. So here we are, Pat. Thanks for coming. You ready to start this podcast?
Am I introduced officially?
Yeah, I guess.
I come unprepared every week. It takes me about 5 minutes to write it. You should have just given me the 5 minutes.
It's all right.
There wasn't a single rhyme in that intro.
Nah, we're going to do something new. Fuck it.
Dip Dizzy Whistle, I expect to hear from you about this bullshit.
Well, it'd be nice to hear from somebody because we haven't gotten mail in like a week.
Oh, I'm sure you've gotten a mail.
Only one of us has to have penises put in our mouth, Pat.
One, I don't know why you always pluralize it. It's like you fantasize about me asking for penises put in my mouth.
If you could not make so much fucking noise.
I can't not make so much. We're barely settled. We just got here. I haven't got my keys set down. I don't have my tablet open.
Pat, if you'd like to throw out what time it is, maybe people would understand why I'm rushing.
It's Eastern Standard Time. 8:03, you 90-year-old fuck.
It's 8:03 p.m. on Sunday. This has to get uploaded in approximately 5 hours.
That's true. Hey, what time do you have to be up for work in the morning?
I'll be up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
For work?
I have stuff to do, yeah.
In your career?
Oh, trust me, I'm not going to say that on the podcast. Yeah, for my career, yes.
I guess my question is, why are you getting up at 6 a.m. if you don't have to go to work?
I would not like to discuss it on a podcast, Pat.
Oh, all right. Masturbation.
It's definitely not masturbation. I don't have to masturbate. I'm married.
Liar.
Okay. Anyway, Pat, so we both watched our movies.
True story. Thanks for the warm intro today. It was good.
No problem.
JK.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Okay, let's get started with some movie reviews. What movie did you watch?
I watched Overboard, the 1987 version.
How was that?
Well, on IMDb, it got a 6.9. It had Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. It was 2.5 hours long, which I'm going to say was probably an hour too long. There's a certain type of movie that I can't get behind, and this is it. It's like they overact on purpose. Now, don't get me wrong. You could easily come back at me and say Jim Carrey does that. But Jim Carrey's the best in the world at it. Like, he's the best who's ever done it. Everybody else doing it for the sake of doing it isn't entertaining. It was overacted. It almost seemed like a bunch of people got together and just threw something together to make a movie. The storyline, I will say, was fantastic. It's great. It's like she falls off of a boat after being like a stuck-up, snobby, rich, just asshole. And she treats this carpenter really poorly who is fixing up her closet in her boat. That's Kurt Russell. So they hate each other because she was an asshole to him. And he did a really good job on her closet, but he used the wrong type of wood. And she didn't specify. So that, that's too much detail for a review. But so she falls off the boat. She loses her memory. He sees her on television, and he goes and gets her out of the hospital on the pretense that he is her husband and she's forgotten him, and brings her home and like uses her to take care of his 4 kids and him, like to make them dinner and clean the house. It's really comical.
So he turns into a giant piece of shit.
Yeah. Like, so they're both guilty. But by the end of the movie, obviously, everybody's in love and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's as predictable as it can be. I would say it's worth watching. It's a long investment at 2.5 hours.
Is this, would you really put it at a 6.9, Pat?
I would put it in the 6s. I'm not sure that it would be that high. But I know, so I don't know what the Adam Sandler Overboard is. I know there is one, so I'm going to go watch that. There's also a new Overboard from maybe a year or two ago that I think had Anna Faris in it. I'm not positive on that. but I'll watch that one as well because I'm curious if it's the same story. I really want to see the new one more than the Adam Sandler one because that storyline with some decent acting in it would probably be really good. Kurt Russell, this is so I love Big Trouble Little China because of the overacting, because it's so outrageous action. So this is Kurt Russell, who starred in Big Trouble Little China, literally playing the exact same type of character in a rom-com. So I'm okay with it for that reason. What are you changing over there, buddy?
I'm trying to change this so that we don't have to go back later and amplify stuff.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So we'll see how that goes.
All right, that's my movie review.
Okay. I'm probably never going to watch it, so that's fair. I watched 13th, Pat, the documentary on Netflix that you made me watch. And full disclosure, when I was done watching it, I texted Pat and I said, "You're a piece of shit."
That's true. He also said, an hour and 40 minutes of my life I can never get back.
That's true. So I've held this close to me today. I haven't told Pat any way of how I felt about it. So this is where I'm at. So I started watching it, and they bring up a lot of good points in the documentary that are, Pat says they're fact-based. I'm going to challenge that a little bit. But the statistics, like the amount of people in prison has absolutely 100% rapidly grown over the last 50 years. It's insane. I think it's starting to level off a little bit now, but that's in the last 5 or 6 years, not anything too recent. You know what I mean?
Right.
This was the turning point for me. Almost at the end of it, I think it's probably just over, maybe an hour and 10 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
They play a clip of President Trump saying something. And then they play, which is something that he actually said. It was a speech that he was making.
Yeah, it's footage.
And then they take audio clips of stuff that he said at some of his rallies while running for president the first time, and played old clips of videos of African Americans and stuff being assaulted. So it all just didn't add up. Why wouldn't you show footage from his rallies if that's really what it was? So I went and researched it today. And what they did was they took a montage. So they took clips from from different rallies that he was holding, and put clips of what he was saying together. So there's no, they were trying to spin it that he's hateful towards African Americans in this documentary.
So they took it out of context, is what you're saying.
Yes. And that right there changed my entire opinion of the entire documentary. Because that right there, I should have just watched the news. Because that's what watching the news is like. They take things out of context, spin them the way that they want you to believe them, and ultimately causes divide in our country.
So that ruined the whole movie for you?
It's not a movie, it's a documentary. But yeah, it did.
I'm sorry, what is a documentary if it's not a movie?
It's a documentary.
Okay, I'm sorry. It ruined the whole book for you?
Yes.
Okay, so...
The book and visual.
Gotcha. So...
And this is why, right? So then you go, I started analyzing things that they were bringing up about how the Nixon campaign started... They didn't start the war on drugs. The next one did. But how they were making these laws... Yeah. They were making these laws to target African Americans, but they wouldn't come out and say that. But the laws that they were making were to target African Americans. That's what they're saying in the documentary.
Systemic racism.
Yeah. But there's no, actual... Other than the fact that more African Americans went to jail, that's the only statistic. There's no actual factual, we did this to put the black man down.
But actually, they say in that documentary that there are people from the cabinet that said we knew exactly what we were doing.
One guy.
Okay, so he said we knew exactly what we were doing. We knew why we were doing it. Yeah, it was one guy that said that. Well, you said you wanted facts. So this one guy is the only one willing to admit that they were doing it for that reason. And you go, well, that's only one. Well, how many do you need then? Here's a better example. how many laws do you need that are in fact clearly racist laws? So they take two problems, right? They take a coke problem, which is a white people problem, and they take a crack problem, which is a black people problem. In the 80s, that's exactly how it was. And they go, okay, this is pretty much the exact same drug. So the one that the blacks are using, we're going to give way harsher penalties for. The one that the whites are using, we're going to give way less aggressive punishment for. And you're going to go, yeah, but where's the proof that that's racist? The law is the racist proof. The law in itself is what's racist.
Okay, that's fine.
Right, you say it's fine, but it's like
I don't want to make
proof, but when you're given proof, you're like, okay, yeah, but still not true.
That's not concrete proof.
What would be concrete proof? What more can they do other than purposely incarcerate colored people over white people? What more can they do to say this is a systemic problem?
Okay, you're right, Pat.
I'm asking you the question.
I don't know.
What proof do you need?
This is what turned, like, all those things are probably true, what they were doing. I'm not disagreeing with what they were doing is true. What turned me off from the documentary and from wanting to hear anything else that they have to say is that they're spinning at that situation right there. They spun a narrative to make it fit their agenda. As far your documentary at that point is fucking moot. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this specific thing. But the idea of them taking somebody who is... I mean, I don't think you can really question whether or not Trump or fucking Bill Gates, those guys are racist. They're racist. They're old white guys who have an outdated ideology.
That's stereotypical.
Okay, it's stereotypical if I said they were old white guys and stopped talking. I only stopped talking because you interrupted me. So they're old white guys, yes. That is true. They have an ideology that has not evolved. They're still of the beliefs that they grew up with. They haven't evolved. Those guys, and I'm not debating whether or not Trump is a good president. That's not what we're talking about. I'm not debating whether or not Trump has done more for black people than any other president. That's not what we're talking about. I'm saying on a personal level, is Trump racist? And is that what they were trying to get out? Is there somebody making that documentary who knows Trump and is like, nah, I'm going to expose him for the asshole that he is? Maybe that's why that spin was put on it. I don't know.
Either way, it's wrong.
Either way, they took words that the man said and put them onto. It's not like they said he said something that he didn't say.
But here's the thing.
Right.
They took words that he said that had no racial meaning behind any of them.
Okay.
And put them to footage of black people being abused.
Okay.
That's wrong.
Okay, were the black people actually abused?
In the footage that they're showing?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was before Trump said those things.
Yes.
Okay, so
but
maybe...
to play his voice over that footage is fucking dead wrong.
Or it's hey, these things have happened in the past. So maybe moving forward, these aren't the type of things we should say. Like, we know what's happened. But I don't know because I don't know what scene you're talking about. Because I wasn't brokenhearted over any part of the documentary.
But that's what... Listen, what I'm trying to say is that 3 minutes...
Yeah.
Is what changed my entire view of the documentary.
So for the first hour and 10 minutes, when they unequivocally proved that there is in fact systemic racism in the system, I mean, it is without a doubt, it exists, it was put there for a reason, and it continues to happen. The fact that they proved Clinton made a deal, a law, that put more black people in prison, put more people in general in prison, and then he admitted that he was wrong. He said that he was sorry.
Like, his law wasn't to put more black people in prison. It was just to keep people in prison. It had nothing to do about race.
But so that means nothing to you because what they did with the Trump thing.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, you did. You texted me and said, I can never get that hour and 40 minutes back. You said, you're a piece of shit. So the 3 minutes of this DVD that was against your boy. All right. The 3 minutes of this audio tape
dude,
that was against your boy.
And this doesn't come down to me being a Trump supporter. Right?
What does it come down to?
The fact of what they did was wrong.
Okay, so, all right. So, have you ever watched a movie?
That discredits you 100%.
Have you ever watched a really good movie with a boring part?
It's not the same thing.
No, it's not. That's not what I asked. Have you ever done that?
Sure.
So, was the movie ruined by the boring part?
Sometimes.
Okay. So, not every time.
Not every time.
Okay. But this time, this documentary that's packed with statistical evidence.
Here's the thing, Pat. I'm not
Jam-packed.
saying you're missing what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I completely
you are.
understand what you're saying.
No, because you're there were good parts. In my opinion, they discredited themselves as soon as they did that.
Entirely.
100%. What you're fighting for at that point, I might as well been watching the news, the
Okay,
regular
so
news.
the statistics that prove actual fact, those things are also discredited.
No.
You just said they entirely discredited themselves.
The people talking,
Yeah.
the people that made this documentary,
Okay.
other than the statistics that they proved,
Okay.
totally discredit themselves in what they're talking about because you're trying to push a narrative on a culture that's not right.
Okay, so they discredited part of the documentary,
Yes.
not entirely.
They discredited themselves, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Again, I'm entitled to my opinion, not my own facts.
I don't know if... Okay, yeah, sure. I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. I'll show you what I'm talking about, too, because...
I'm going to watch it again. I actually was going to watch it again before I came here because I knew you were going to have something stupid. Like,
I don't find it
like
stupid.
the 3 minutes of this documentary
the
ruined the
fact that you
hour and
think-
40 minutes of fact-based information.
You're missing what I'm saying, Pat.
I'm not missing what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying.
Then why do you keep saying that it ruined the facts? I'm not saying it ruined the facts. These people that made the DVD or the documentary had a great thing going. They really did. They could have really, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. It did. But once they did that, I no longer want to listen to what you have to say.
Well, you clearly did not open your eyes to anything. So what did it open your eyes to? That remains now.
That remains now
Yeah.
that in the 60s, 70s, and 80s,
Yeah.
our presidents
Yeah.
put a lot of laws in place to put people in prison, and keep them there.
Nobody specific.
May have been targeted towards the African American
Yeah, this
community.
clearly. This. Oh God. Okay. I can't do it. I can't. So it's. Oh man.
Yeah, you're right.
What?
They targeted the African American community.
Okay. So, what else did you need to get out of this DVD? That's
Stop calling it a fucking DVD. It's a documentary.
all right. I'm sorry.
The fuck is wrong with you?
The VHS that you were watching. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
What more do you feel like they wanted you to take away from it? It's that the government.
What they wanted me to take away.
Yeah.
First off,
You think they wanted you to hate Trump?
When they played that clip, absolutely. That's what they're
in general. You think that's what the documentary is about?
I think they wanted to raise awareness to a problem.
Okay. Did it work? You just said you're walking away with.
So here's the other problem with it. These problems stopped after Clinton. They haven't been able to prove anything else after Clinton. That there's been we're still trying to keep African Americans in prison. They've repealed a lot of the laws that were put in after
Have
Clinton.
they repealed all of them?
I said a lot of them.
Right. So it's still going on. So if you want to look for something that the presidents since Clinton haven't done, there you go. Get rid of all of the laws that purposely keep people behind bars for the sake of profit, for the sake of systemic racism, for the sake of anything that could be considered unfair.
And at this point, after the 80s, it definitely stopped being systematically to keep them in prison. It all became about money, which is when Clinton took over.
And we've discussed at length, you oftentimes have said the reason that in the inner city we have higher crime rates is because we have dads not at home, right? Like that's not 100%, but you've made that point. Dad's not at home. And you say that's like a cultural thing. But now after watching this and seeing... I
still believe that because...
For the past 50 years, those fathers have also been imprisoned. They haven't had the chance to be at home.
That's not true. They had the opportunity not to break the law. When they broke the law and they went to prison, that's where they forfeited their rights. Now, the fact that they were kept in prison, or they weren't, like when you're smoking crack,
yeah,
you were kept in prison longer than if you were snorting coke. Okay?
Yeah.
And like you said, that's primarily that was a black person problem back in the 70s and 80s. So yes, that's true. But you were still breaking the law. You were still so yes, it kept them, but that's one generation.
Okay. Well, how long do you think that generation's effects will be felt? You think it's over with the next generation?
Well, again, stop breaking the law. Like, that's my big thing. Like, you don't end up in prison most of the time.
Sure.
Not all of the time.
Sure.
But most of the time. If you're not breaking the law.
Okay. So I'll give you an example. So a child who grows up without a dad in his home, right? So we'll call that first generation problem. Dad went to jail. Okay.
I know exactly what yes, it's a repeated effect because dad wasn't there to teach him right from wrong.
Not only that, the kid wasn't able to observe. So mom was a single mom her whole life. Now this kid gets into a serious relationship, 18, 19, 20 years old, and his girlfriend, I don't know, does something fucking annoying, or his girlfriend does something that he's never seen his mom do to somebody else, or she cheats on him. There's no telling how this kid could react. I'm not saying everybody who comes from a single parent home is a fucking maniac. I'm saying that they have less of an opportunity to see how relationships work. Mom and dad get through tough times. So now this kid, let's just say, beats the shit out of that girl. Now, let's also say they have a child together. So now you've got the second generation problem, right? Like this one's abusive. But the third generation is watching that abuse. So now you've got a 3-generation problem. If the first one was born in the 70s, dad was born in the 70s.
I understand what you're saying. But
Okay.
at the same time, that comes down to teaching, like, the mother. Like, I don't know. I think that...
What I'm saying is this isn't a 1-generation problem.
Okay. I still think, like, you should know right from wrong from, like, you're around other people, not just your mom. You know that it's wrong to beat women.
Okay.
Like,
You know who else was positive that they were right? And so right or wrong, that's totally how you were brought up, right? That's what you've been taught. Right or wrong is not something you just magically know. For example, the Nazis thought they were right. I mean, they killed how many Jews, how many non-blonde haired, blue-eyed people? Because that's what they were taught. That was the rule.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Somebody has to teach us.
Okay.
Even if it's wrong, even if you have somebody in your house who is abusive and you go, man, I'm never going to be like that because I hate the way that feels, or I hate the way that person looks when it happens. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You have to learn.
Okay. Again, I didn't want to watch this documentary because I didn't want to have this discussion on the podcast.
Why not?
Because you know that I don't want to talk about this stuff on the podcast. And yet you put me into a corner where I had to. So you got your way.
I did not make you write a review.
If you
could have been like, yeah, it sucked.
Well, that would be dishonest.
Oh, so it didn't suck.
Don't take out of context
so
what
you
I
loved
said.
it.
Didn't love it. It would be dishonest of me not to write a review. Like, why would I not write a review? I've done it for every other movie or every other thing that you've made me watch.
That's true.
So, this is where it ends. I will not discuss this any further on the podcast.
What's your next movie recommendation?
For you?
This motherfucker just put his hand up to me like a stop sign because I was asking what the next movie he recommended was.
I don't know yet.
Right.
I haven't. I'll give you something before the end of the show.
All right, Aretha Franklin, whenever you're ready to recommend the next movie, I'm ready.
I don't know what that means, but
I'm going to go with JFK. You get to watch JFK with Kevin Costner. You'll fucking
it's
love
fucking
it.
3 hours, dude.
It's amazing.
What do you think? I don't have a fucking life, dude? Pat, let me tell you something. I worked fucking 60 hours last week.
You made me watch a 2.5-hour rom-com.
I didn't make you watch shit. My wife did.
I'm sorry. Who has to give me a movie recommendation every week?
Erica gave it to you, bro.
Who gave their pick away to Erica?
Not me. She just said, "Oh, you should watch this," and I said, "Okay, well, whatever." She told you to watch, so I'll watch it.
So every week I recommend movies and you just shoot them down.
I'm gonna watch it, Pat.
Okay, so you're on board for JFK.
I don't want to watch it. It's fucking 3 hours. It's gonna take me 2 weeks.
Did you look into that? Is it actually 3 hours?
I bet you. I know that my grandparents had it when I was a kid, and it was a double VHS tape. So
that's true. It was a double VHS tape.
It's 3 hours.
Hey, do you think the DVD that you just watched was double VHSs?
It wasn't a DVD, and it was a documentary.
I'm looking up JFK so we can see how long it is. JFK.
I'm thinking of something you probably haven't seen. Oh, you know what? There's a new Adam Sandler movie out on Netflix.
The Halloween one.
Yeah, you can watch that.
What is it? Halloween or something?
Yeah.
Why'd you smile at me like you already seen it, huh?
No,
it's
I haven't
pretty
seen
bad.
it. I haven't seen it. I won't watch it. You can watch it and let me know how it is.
I hope it's not like, what did he make, the Ridiculous Six? That movie was fucking trash.
I want to see that Sandy Koufax that was on Netflix that he made for this.
For the record, JFK is not 3 hours, so you have nothing to worry about.
What was it, 2 hours and 58 minutes?
3 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah, you fucking asshole.
I guarantee you love it.
It's not about loving or hating it, Pat. It's about having the time to do it.
Wow, it's not about love. So if I give you 3 hours of solid enjoyment during your week,
Pat, I don't think you understand how hard it is for me to watch something that's an hour and 40 minutes.
What'd you do today?
Today?
Yeah.
I went and watched football.
All right.
Because we're going to do an episode on Thursday about football.
How many hours you watch?
Of football?
Yeah.
I don't know. 4 or 5 hours.
All right. What you do before football? It starts at 1 Eastern time.
I got up and watched it, or had breakfast with my wife. Spent a little bit of time with my wife. Helped my son with his computer stuff because I've been telling him how to do that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Anything else?
No, I'm just curious.
I mean, why are you trying to press me on what I'm doing?
I'm
Pat,
trying to help you
Pat,
find
when I work
3 hours in your week.
Pat, when I work 60 hours last week.
I know, that leaves you with 108 hours left in your week.
You're an asshole.
I just want to help you find the time, bro.
Yeah.
It's about time management.
Yeah, that's what it is. Time management.
I watched my movie while spending time with Miss Emily.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Good for you.
Thank fucking God, because that movie was not good.
I
shouldn't say that. It wasn't that bad.
So you're going to watch the Jacko Christmas thing with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, whatever Halloween Christmas thing.
I don't know what the fuck his name. And I'm going to watch JFK. Somehow you get an hour and a half movie, I get a 3 hour movie. Perfect.
Maybe it's in return for all those movies you made me watch before. I want to ask you, I have this, I know this, it lives in my memory forever. What's the worst moment or day, whatever, of your life? Do you remember it? Like, can you pick one out that just nothing compares to?
Like something that happened to me personally?
Well, I guess, yes, it doesn't necessarily have to have happened to you personally, but it has to have affected you personally. Otherwise, why would it be the worst moment of your life?
Well, one of the worst moments of my life is 9/11.
Well, okay. But, like, did that ruin your life personally or ruin your day personally? You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst?
Well,
just
ruined
like
my day, Pat. It was my birthday.
Yeah, well, that speaks volumes. But no. So
I was fucking 11, you asshole.
I guess like 9/11 could count.
Yeah,
if
one of my
your
parents,
dad, it was in the building, sure.
Every day I get up and go to work.
Oof, that is a very emo answer. You got anything other than that?
I don't. Why don't you tell your story? Maybe it'll trigger something for me.
I can do that. And obviously, like, people have died in my life. I've lost people other ways in my life. The worst moment of my life. So I was arguing with actually Piss Girl. I was arguing with her on the telephone. I don't know what we were talking about. I'm sure it was absolute garbage. But I get a phone call from my brother Steven. And this is back in the days of call waiting. So I click over. And I don't know it's him. And I'm like, hello. And he's like, hey, man, what are you doing? I'm like, not much. He's like, hey, listen, I got to go away for a little while. And I'm like, oh, cool. Where are you going? He's like, I can't really tell you. And it immediately hit me like this was a really fucked up conversation coming, because Steven had signed up for the Air Force like months prior. I mean, like, this has happened, and then 9/11 happened, and now he's like, I can't tell you where I'm going. And I'm like, fuck me. So like I click back over. I'm like, I gotta go. I can't argue with you. So she's furious. She's screaming, yelling. So the whole time I'm talking to Steven now, she's beeping through because she just keeps calling and calling. But I'm like, what do you mean you can't tell me? And he's like, well, we're not allowed to talk about where we're going. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, how long are you gonna be gone? He's like, I can't really tell you how long I'm gonna be gone. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm like, phew. And just like the element of the unknown was so shitty. Like when my stepfather Russ died, It was brutal, man. It was awful because you have so much regret about like the way you treated somebody. And he was a stepdad. Don't get me wrong. We got along famously towards the end. It was not the greatest middle. I was quite the asshole stepson. But not knowing where, and then I was like, do you have to carry a gun? Because you're like a medic, right? And he's like, well, no, I don't have to carry a gun because I'm a medic. So, like rules of war, you don't shoot medics. And I'm like, why the fuck do you not carry a gun? Like you're going to war, man. So I'm hysterical. I'm screaming and crying. I live with my buddy and his parents because I've moved out of my parents at this point. So they're like, what the fuck is going on? This is like the happiest kid in the entire world, and he's freaking the fuck out. So then Steven like changes his tune, and he's like, listen, I didn't want to scare you because I'm a medic and you brought it up, but yes, I carry a gun. And I'm like, why the fuck do you need to carry a gun if you're a medic? There's rules in war. So like, there's nothing good that he can say. And I'm just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing to the point where like my mother, got a phone call from Steven because Steven was obviously not around. He was at the time, I think in Biloxi, Mississippi. And my mother got a phone call that was like, somebody needs to go like drive to Patrick right now and just fucking sit there while he screams and cries. Cause I don't know what the fuck to do at this point. It was fucking brutal. I'll never forget. It's like it was yesterday. It was by far the worst thing I've ever been through in my life. That's what I got.
Doesn't seem that bad, Pat.
I suppose if you've never been in that situation, it may not seem that bad. But not knowing whether you were ever going to see or talk to your loved ones again because they were going to do something.
And you got to tell me, dude, my brother's in the Air Force. He's been deployed multiple times.
And apparently that didn't bother you. I mean, it didn't seem that bad.
It's not that, it didn't bother me.
And I mean, we're talking a very short time after 9/11.
Yeah, it's not that it doesn't bother me when my brother got deployed. I mean, he's still in, but he hasn't been deployed in a long time. It's not that it doesn't bother me. It's that I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, I'm not capable of that.
He's going over to do his job, and we'll see him when he gets home.
It's actually like the stories that he tells now are significantly worse than I expected. Like, he switched from med to comm. You just kind of assume like, because the jokes that they tell are like, we don't go to war. That's what the Marines and the Army are for. Like we're sitting in a building at a desk.
Yeah, until they bomb the building.
Correct. And then they're like, we're also sitting at that desk with a flak jacket and fucking helmet on with, an M16 next to us. Because while we're writing code, we also have to be prepared to run out of the building that's getting missiles shot at it. Yeah. And like they joke around about it. Like it's funny. And I'm like, there's nothing okay about this with me. Like this is not fucking good.
Yeah, Tim went to Kuwait for like, I think he had to have been there almost a year probably. I know that while he was in Kuwait, they had to fly him back to Alaska because some girl accused his buddy of raping her.
Yeah.
And my brother was with him the night that she said that she got raped.
So she had to go testify?
Yeah. Jeez. So they had to fly him from Kuwait to Alaska and then back to Kuwait.
That girl. Okay.
She lost.
Okay. That was a lot of money invested in that trial.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone was probably more expensive than the rest of the trial.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're accusing a serviceman of...
Yeah, it's not a fucking joke at all. I'm glad that the military was willing to go to that length to defend that kid.
Yeah. So, yeah, he said it was like hot as balls, dude. He was like, dude, it was like 130 into shape.
Yeah, Steven talks about there's these things called camel spiders.
Oh, yeah.
And they hang out in shadow. So if there's a camel spider standing next to you, it's not going to attack you. It's standing in your fucking shadow because it's like 50 degrees cooler.
Yeah.
So if you run from a camel spider, it will invariably run after you because it wants to be in your shadow. Yeah. So he talks about like new guys would fucking haul ass away from these spiders, and there's nothing you can't stop them because they're not listening to you.
Yeah.
But all the fucking spider is trying to do is fucking relax.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. I don't really know if I have a good one, Pat. I've had a lot of tragedy in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't really, like, my grandmother passed away a month ago or so. But I haven't lost another family member, like, in my immediate family. And
all right, how about this? What's the most I don't know if scared is the right word, or like, what's the most you've had that feeling of impending doom? Like, this is going to be very, very, very bad.
Every day when I go to work?
You know what I thought your answer was going to be? And I actually wanted to retract the question as soon as I said, I'm glad you didn't give me the answer. I thought it was going to say when you found out you were pregnant.
Well, I was never pregnant, but
you get what I fucking mean.
Just for the record, I do look like I may be pregnant. I'm not.
Yeah, you look like you've been pregnant longer than Bonnie Swanson from Family Guy.
That actually, that might be up there, man, with one of the worst days of my life.
Just scared the fuck out of you.
Yeah, I mean, I was 18 years old.
It was the wrong girl.
Well, that's at the time. You don't know that, right?
Oh, so, you guys were still like
we were dating.
Oh, okay. For whatever reason, I thought you had broken up by that point, and I thought you got back together for that.
No, we were dating, but I was 18 years old. Was living on my parents' house for the first time. I was only out of the house for like 6-7 months. Every fucking show. We literally stopped recording for like a good half hour.
I can't turn my alarms off.
You can put the ringer down on your phone, and the alarm won't make any noise.
Is that true?
Yes. Turn the volume down.
That's a horrible system. What if you turn your ringer down because you're...
Do you want to know how I know, Pat?
Because you do it?
Because I did it the other day.
And then your alarm didn't wake you up?
And then my alarm didn't wake me up.
That's why it's a horrible system. You need your alarms to be the right volume.
I'm with you. Anyway. But yeah, I was out of the house for only like 6 months when she got pregnant. I moved out it was less than that. I moved out in August. She was pregnant in, I found out probably January. February maybe.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very long.
Was she excited?
No. Well, I never told you this story.
I don't recall.
So
in my defense, I don't remember anything.
Yeah. So I'm at school, right?
Yeah.
She starts blowing on my phone. It was a truck day because we worked together. It was a truck day. And she went in early in the morning to bring in the truck. And she's blowing on my phone. It's like 8 o'clock. I'm in my first class. I'm waiting for my first break. I get out of my first break. I call her. I'm like, what's going on? She goes, I need you to come to the store. I'm like, why? She goes, I just took a pregnancy test. I'm pregnant. And she's bawling or whatever. And I'm like, what? So I fucking...
I'm like, what?
I ran up to my classroom. I grabbed my books. And I told I was like, I gotta go, man. My girlfriend just called me. She's pregnant or something. I gotta go. And so I went and met her. By then, her mother and her stepfather had come down to pick her up.
Hold on. I feel like there's a huge gap here. We'll get to the mother and the stepfather. What the fuck was going through your head? Like, was this one of those things where you can literally feel your heart beating out of your chest?
Oh, yeah.
Like your stomach's turned over.
There's no way, right?
You're like, I'll never eat again because I'm going to throw up.
I knew before she told me she was pregnant, right?
Yeah.
It was around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I had come back home for Christmas, went back up. I hadn't seen her in a week and started smashing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm dumping loads like crazy. You know what I mean? But she's on a pill. I don't do anything to worry about. And then, but like, I've always been like this where I watch, like, I always keep in the back of my mind, like, watch her take your pill. Watch her take your pill.
Yeah.
So a few days goes by and I'm like,
trust issues.
Yeah. I still do that with my wife. Like, that's not a joke.
More trust issues.
It's not trust issues. I mean, you can only wrong me once. I mean, and I was doing it at 18. But anyway, so a week went by or so, probably 4 or 5 days. And I'm like, not for nothing. I haven't seen you take your pill. And she goes, oh, I lost them. What?
Lost them?
Yeah, what do you mean you lost them? So then we go to her parents' house, and we're looking around her parents' house for a pill. They're right on the dining room table. You didn't fucking lose them. You left them there. You know what I mean? So I knew.
Right.
That, like, I'm like, there's no way this girl's not pregnant. I've been blowing nuts on her like fucking crazy. So, I go down to the store. By then, her parents are there. They pick us both up, drive us to their house, and that's a whole fucking other story with them. But so we,
what was their take on it?
Her mom wanted her to keep the baby.
Yeah.
Her stepfather said you can keep it or get a smortion.
Smortion, yeah.
Adoption's not an option.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a different story for a different day.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. We talked for a little while with her parents. We talked alone for a little while. I had to leave to go to work. that night.
Yeah.
When I left, we were going to get a suspension.
Yeah.
Like, that was our final judgment.
Okay.
This is what's best. And I went to her parents' house when I got out of work that night. I walk in the house. I'll never forget it. It was like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a sitting room.
Yeah. No TV in it?
They had a TV in it.
Oh, so then it's a living room.
No, because they had another living room.
Then it's a family room.
Whatever. Pat has this thing about sitting rooms. But anyway, so they're sitting in this room, and it's her mom, her sister, and her. And I walk in, and they're like picking out baby names. Like they're picking. So I sit down, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, huh? Why are we picking out names for something we're going to get rid of? And she's like, oh, I decided I'm going to keep it. And I was like, no fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, I thought my life was over, you know? And I just want to throw this out there. Like, I'm, at the time, and I still believe this, I'm not a big fan of abortion. But until you're put in that situation.
Right, you don't know. You
really have no idea how you're going to react to it. And again, I was 18 years old. I was away from home. Nobody there to help me. I had nobody.
Right.
You know, like nobody. I had one person, and it was her. And she's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. There are lots of situations like that.
But, you know, it all worked out for the best.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Kid's happy and healthy.
I don't know if he's happy, but he's healthy.
Well, he's happy most of the time, unless dad tells him to do something that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
And then he's just a normal aging boy.
Yeah, fucking prick. But yeah, that's probably right up there, Pat. One of the worst days. But see, I would never equate it as one of the worst days of my life because ultimately it's one of the best days of my life.
But at the moment, though.
Yeah, the moment, worst day of my life. Looking back on it, I mean,
I love the heel turn where she decides. After you've already made the group, almost like she button hooked you.
Yeah, you button hooked me. I didn't know you were gonna button hook me.
You button hooked me. I didn't know you were gonna button hook me.
I can't fucking breathe. That clip's so fucking funny. No, that's making a comeback.
Yeah, you button hooked me. I didn't know you were gonna button hook me.
Fuck. Fucking Pat's dying over it. Anyway, so yeah. Yes, that's that one.
I will say I did have a pregnancy scare in my day. You've heard this story.
You're infertile, Pat. How could you have?
Well, that's my thing. Yeah, I'm A, infertile, B, immune to STDs. You
should tell the story about how you told Emily you were immune to STDs.
Yeah, she doesn't think that's funny. She does not find any humor in that.
It's not funny, Pat.
It's kind of funny.
Not really. Especially if she knew how many people you've actually slept with.
One. I lost my virginity, Emily.
Yeah.
That's a true story. Yeah. Scouts on it. I can't do it.
Yeah, you button hooked me. I didn't know you were gonna button hook me.
We're gonna wear that clip right the fuck out. It's so funny.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, if you recall, I was with the girl whose name we will never mention because she's not worthy of a name.
She tried to tell you that she was pregnant?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing.
That fits her demeanor perfect.
Yeah, no shit. So she was late, and I don't mean to class, and we were going to the movies. I was not aware of the current sitch, if you will. She didn't fill me in. So we're pulling into the theater, and there's a Dollar Tree right by the theater. And she's like, hey, can you go to the Dollar Tree before we go to the movie? I'm like, fuck yeah. She got a big purse, snack time. You know what I mean? Why would you not hit the Dollar Tree?
You're so fucking fat. You're so fat. That's all you're thinking about.
Valid. So she's sitting in the car, like I'm unbuckled, I'm getting out, and she's still sitting there. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, can you run in real quick and grab a pregnancy test? And I'm like, time out. We're not getting snacks. And she's like, I'm pretty sure I'm pregnant. And I'm like, and you want me to verify this at the Dollar Tree? And she's like, yeah, the pregnancy tests are still just as effective. And I'm like, I didn't even know they had fucking pregnancy tests at the dollar store, Dollar Tree specifically. So I'm like, fuck, this is
She said they're just as effective.
Yeah, they say right on the box, and whatever 99.6 or 99.9 or whatever they say.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, listen, spring for the extra money. Go get a real one.
Well, yeah, but they're real brands. It's like you can buy M&Ms at the Dollar Tree. The same box of M&Ms is $1. That if you bought at CVS is like fucking $6 because they're insane. So I'm down. Whatever.
They're probably expired.
The test needs to be had. So, but you know me, and when serious things happen, I am very, very serious, and I don't make any jokes because that's not how I defend myself from the cruel world. So I go into the Dollar Tree, and when I come out, I get into the car, and I just hand her a 10-pack of metal coat hangers. I do not have the fucking pregnancy test.
That's fucking hilarious.
She sees no fucking humor in this whatsoever. She storms into the fucking Dollar Tree, gets the test. We go silently to the movie. She walks into the bathroom before we go, I assume to take the pregnancy test. We walk out of the movie. She still hasn't said a word. We're walking to the car, and I'm like, are we gonna have a baby? And she's like, don't fucking talk to me. And it was hours before she told me that the test came up negative. She was so fucking mad.
That's a fucking funny joke.
I still think it's fucking hilarious.
That's fucking hilarious. I would have been down for that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's luckily that's the only pregnancy scare I've ever had.
Yeah, I think I've had a few, but nothing beyond like.
Well, I had. This is a funny fucking story. This is the true like keep a dude baby story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm not very proud of this story or this moment of my life, but I was sleeping with a married woman for a little while.
Yeah, you were.
True story.
I'm not proud of you either.
It happens. I mean, looking back, come on, it was quite the feat.
What?
Listen, I was a young kid. She was significantly older than me. I feel pretty good about it. That's so funny. They're pet.
I just the fact you started out by saying that you're not proud, and then you talked about how what an accomplishment it was. You said
well, it wasn't
quite the feat.
It was. You know what? I'm not proud that I did it, but I'm proud of myself for doing it. You get what I mean?
No, that's two of the exact same thing that you're saying the opposite thing for.
Listen, if my son comes up to me and he says, Dad, I slept with a married woman, I'm not going to be happy with him. Just like my father was not happy with me. But at the same time, I'm going to know that my son's proud of himself. And that's okay with me.
I got to tell you. You know, the little like droplets in the toilet that, piece of shit. That's what, you're a piece of shit. That's what it is. I couldn't think of what it was called. Now I remember.
Anyway, listen, that girl came on to me. I never approached her. She actually one time, okay, I might as well just tell the whole
story. It's about to get so much worse.
I might as well just tell the whole story. So
she's on the phone with her husband.
No, I'm not like that, dude. That's horrible.
Okay. That's the line. Hold on. Did you ever have sex in this married man's house?
No. I would never do that. She asked me to, I swear.
You ever have sex in his garage?
No. I never had sex on his property.
Okay.
Unless you consider his, her van, his property.
Well, no. I understand.
Like his residence. I never had sex. She tried to get me to. I didn't even feel comfortable going to their house.
Yeah, wait a second. What the fuck were you doing at their house?
Well, she lived very close to where I worked.
Okay.
So it was convenient to go over and say hi once in a while.
Oh, so you guys were dating?
I wouldn't say dating.
You're dropping in to say
she
hey.
Definitely thought that we were dating. I did not. Because let's be real.
Was she in an open relationship with her husband?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I might as well just tell the whole story on here.
Yeah, please. Because I was trying to figure out.
No,
maybe I won't have to ask questions.
Erica, you're going to want to skip the next 20 minutes.
20 minutes? I'm so excited that you're the one going down the rabbit hole today and not me.
All right. We won't say 20 minutes. We'll say
we want the long version.
15 minutes. Erica, skip until about an hour and 5 minutes in.
I want to know how many times your quiver bone penetrated this chick's bitch wrinkle. I want every detail.
Every detail?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway.
She like butt sex?
No. So this is how it went down. I really don't want to give out the names of any or how we met. but it's kind of important.
So what you should do, let's just say, okay,
you know what? It doesn't matter at this point, dude. It was so long ago, dude, and I'm married, so it doesn't matter. So anyway,
hold on. Before you know.
She, by the way, is no longer married.
No shit. Let's just say if you met at a hockey game, change that to like a bowling alley. You know what I mean? Like, just change the story enough.
Okay. So we...
Piss Girl's real name isn't Piss Girl. I made that name up. That's Scout's honor. That is not her Christian name.
You're an idiot.
I just want to make sure you understood how this works.
Yeah, no, I understand. It doesn't matter at this point because...
Fingernails was actually just a reference to an act that happened together. Her name was not Fingernails.
I get it, bro.
Okay.
You're a fucking idiot.
Honeybuns was actually named Honeybuns.
So I play pool, right? And at this point I was playing for like 3 years. I play out of a place close to where I work. We'll leave it at that.
I'm just glad you changed what you were doing. Good.
Off
to a great start.
You know what, Pat? The more I think about it, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, dude. I'm married. She's divorced. I haven't talked to her in years.
Okay.
Actually, it was probably a couple years ago last time I talked to her. I'll tell you that story too. So anyway, so I'm up. So we talk once in a while. You know what I mean? She was cute.
Sure, pool buddies. Got it.
Well, she worked there.
Oh, okay.
She worked where I played pool.
So it is inevitable that you will see this girl on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm up paying my tab one night, and I give her my debit card. And at the time, I only had the one bank account. The bank account that you and I had the same bank account at.
Yep.
So she brings...
for the number niners, we don't share a bank account.
Yeah, it's just
we have the same bank. It's not like him and Griff. Like, this is a strictly platonic relationship. Go ahead.
I don't understand why Griff got dragged into this. Griff is a sweet, angelic man.
Oh, I know.
I saw him today.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's good.
We actually reminisce about how much better friends him and I are than you and I are.
Oh, that's probably true.
Okay.
Mostly because of you, though. Go ahead.
Okay. So...
How long did you guys fuck today?
That's not important.
Lies. Oh, you didn't lie. You just... You
I said that's not important.
You deflected. Good for you.
So... I give her my debit card, and she goes, "Oh, you live in insert," or she said, "What are you, a teacher or something?" That's what she said.
Okay.
And I said, "Do I look like I'm a fucking teacher?" And she was like, "No." I was like, "I live in Torrington." And she's like, "Oh, my brother went to school in Torrington, my brother lives in, or it's from Torrington, and my dad still lives there, or whatever." And I said, "Oh yeah, what's his name?" She tells me his name. Sure as shit, PPY right there in the other cheek.
Hot on the one cheek, and then, sure enough, PPY right there in the other.
I went to school with her brother. Like, friends with her brother. So we started talking about that a little bit. And, whatever. Don't say nothing about it, you know, or think anything of it. And then, I'm at home a couple days later. It must have been, like, later, like, early in the next week. She friend requests me on Facebook. So I accept it, whatever, no big deal. And she starts messaging me on Facebook. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's so weird. I had a dream about you the other night.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, really? So we talk, we flirt a little bit.
Whoa,
nothing
what was
crazy.
the dream?
I don't remember.
Okay.
And it was nothing like crazy.
Gotcha. You weren't taking dumps on her chest.
No.
Okay.
So so we start getting a little flirty back and forth. And eventually she goes, "You know I'm married, right?" And that's kind of what I was trying to get out of her, to see if she was married or not, because I had no idea. Now, mind you, I did not know that she was as old as she was at the time.
How much older than you was she?
She's the same age as my wife now.
Okay.
So 15 years. She was quite a bit older than me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, Pat.
No, it's inconsequential.
So, whatever. Life goes on. Pool. See her.
When
talk.
she said, "You know I'm married," right? Did you assume that was like, by the way, this isn't going anywhere, we're just flirting?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly how I took it,
Okay.
right? So I just kind of...
Turns out she was like, "You know I'm married. I just want to be clear about what we're about to do."
Yeah, this, like, me being married isn't a problem as long as it's not a problem for you.
Right.
So, whatever. Keep going to the pool. We talk a little bit. Eventually, I started staying there later to help her clean up the pool hall when she's done. We talk afterwards. One thing leads to another. We start making out. And then the next thing you know...
Hold on. I just want to clarify what a bottom-feeding piece of shit this woman is. She's cheating on her husband at her workplace with a customer.
Yes.
Man, that is a trifecta.
Yeah. Yeah, she's... Listen, whatever.
No, all right, go ahead.
I can tell you more about this girl, Pat, that made this so blatantly obvious.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, remember how my old pickup had the carpet in the back?
Yeah.
Well, turns out it's a great place to fuck. So pretty much every Friday night we would smash out in the back of my truck. I'd pull it in behind the building over there.
Yeah.
And there was like a garage way out back in the parking lot.
Sure.
Pull up right next to that, overlook the highway, or be below the highway, be able to see the highway. We'd smash out till like 3 a.m. She'd go home. I'd go sleep at a rest stop because I had to work the next day. And,
Dear God.
And we did that for many months. And then a couple times she's like, I want to leave my husband for you, blah, blah, blah.
Whoa,
and I was like,
whoa.
listen, lady.
Now, this, when them occasions when a homie not doing it right.
I said, what? You're cheating on your husband.
Yeah.
Why would you think that I would think that you wouldn't cheat on me? If I were to, like, as far as I know, you're going home and fucking your husband. Which, as far as I'm concerned, is cheating on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what this is. You clearly don't know what this is.
So, yeah, this is a very broad category, but dishonesty is dishonesty. Cheating is cheating. It doesn't matter. Lying is lying. All of them, if you're willing to do one, you're willing to do the other.
Yeah. So, eventually, luckily, I started, because, I was always talking to other girls because I knew that was going nowhere. Like, this girl, was really trying to leave her husband. But I feel like she was one of those girls that couldn't leave unless she had something else.
Sure.
Like, no independence.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So, and I was like, I'm not that guy. I was like 23, 24 years old. Like, I'm not that guy.
Right.
For you. So eventually, luckily, I found Erica. We started dating. And shortly after that, I pretty much stopped talking to her.
Okay.
Fast forward, I'm with Erica. Like, Erica and I were married. I was living in this house, so within the last 2 years. And, she popped in the place where we play pool once in a while. Luckily, one night that she popped in, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Her husband knew who I was, by the way. He knew, he called me at one point while we were sleeping together. And I was working for Griff. I'll never forget it, dude. He called my cell phone and left me a voicemail because obviously I didn't answer.
Right.
I didn't know who. The number looked awfully familiar, and I was like, I'll let this one go to voicemail. And that's because it was 2 digits off from her number.
Yeah.
And he left me a very, very nice voicemail. Wanted to know why I was talking to his wife so much. I never spoke to him again. I never called him back. I called her and said, "Why is your husband calling my cell phone? How did he get my number?"
Oh man, were you still seeing her?
Yeah, we were still screwing around at that point.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you could have been like, "Well, here's the thing."
No. Yeah. But he played pool at one point, and the same night I played pool, he knew who I was. Never once said anything to me.
Oh wait, hold on. He knew you were stripping his wife?
Oh, come on. There's no way he didn't know.
Well, if he didn't know if he didn't know who he called, if he
he knew who I was. He knew my name.
Okay.
He knew exactly who I was, but never once came and said anything to me. Which right there, to me, if I think somebody's sleeping with Erica, it's not going to be good for that guy.
Whoa! Time out. What if he's just some 23-year-old kid?
That doesn't make it right, Pat.
I don't understand.
If I were that dude, I would have beat the shit out of me, and I totally expected him to, and I totally would have deserved it. I don't condone what I was doing.
I don't. So here's right. This is the fucked
up.
Well,
listen, I wasn't in the wrong for two reasons.
I agree.
That girl came on to me, and secondly, I wasn't married.
Correct. Yeah, could you be hit, if this was an actual crime, if adultery was a crime, could you be hit with, conspiracy to commit adultery? Sure. Or, assisted adultery? Sure. Yeah. But it's not a crime, A. And B, it's a much lesser offense. You don't have a commitment. with somebody. You didn't make a
At the end
vow
of the
to
day, what I
somebody.
did was morally wrong more than anything. You know what I mean? Which I agree with. That's why I say I'm not proud of what I did, even though I kind of am. Morally, I know it's not the right thing to do, and I'm not proud that I did it, other than the fact that I did it. If that makes sense.
No, totally on point.
Okay. So, where was I with that? So, yeah, he knew who I was, never said anything to me, which I thought was a total bitch move, which explains why she was sleeping with somebody else. That's neither here nor there. A couple of years goes by.
I just want to throw it out there. Even if he was, I mean, if you want to emasculate him and call him a bitch or call him whatever name you want to call him, no matter what he was doing, nothing he did caused her to sleep with somebody else.
I agree with you.
You said it. You said that's probably why she was sleeping with. That's on her being a whore. That is not on him.
Okay, Pat, that was a joke. Stop taking everything so fucking
I just wanted to make sure we were clear.
It was a joke, Pat. He's still a bitch. Because I'm telling you right now, if I think somebody's sleeping with Erica, I'm not even going to have a discussion. They're going to get 2 tapped. That's about it.
I hope we get the chance to see this one day.
Me kill somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody try and put a move on Erica.
How you doing, girl? What up?
Anyway, so I'm sitting on the couch upstairs. We were living here, and we were married, right? Look down at my phone. I got a Facebook friend request from none other than her husband.
This bitch.
So immediately, I message her, and I'm like, why is your husband friend request me on Facebook? There has to be some sort of story. Years later, this guy's messaging me on Facebook. Well, we're getting a divorce. And he's trying to get custody of the kids. And he wants to know if you'll testify on his behalf that I cheated on him with you.
So she knew what he was doing. Like, she had all that?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
And I said, why are you guys getting divorced?
What's wrong? Did something happen?
Well, Pat, she got another job.
She got another what?
She had gotten another job.
So she found another customer?
Not a customer, a guy that she was working with.
Coworker. Nice.
And he fell for her tricks and her antics. Now, mind you, what I left out at the beginning of the story, this girl's been married 3 other times, has kids with all the other guys. She has like 5 kids.
Hold up, time out. So she's marrying the coworker at this point?
I don't know if they're getting married.
At that point. She's left the husband for the coworker?
Yeah, I don't know if they're getting married, but she's left him for him.
My mother always advocated, that you never break up with someone for someone else. Like, if you're going to break up with someone, feel free.
Yeah,
but never do it because there's someone else.
Yeah, that's this girl's whole motive is to leave one guy and go to another. Again, these aren't my problems. I did not accept the friend request. If he would have asked me, I would have said no. Like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, dude.
You worked with a Cow Patch at...
No.
No? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No. That's how I know I didn't work with him.
So...
If you're calling somebody Cow Patch, I assume they have some sort of...
skin discoloration. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty common.
Yes.
You see it where, like, they have, like, we'll call it white spots or dark spots. It's got always whiter spots, I think.
Or if they're white, sometimes they have lighter white spots.
Yeah.
Like, where they're almost, like, transparent.
Yeah. And, yeah, so he had a very good friend who he hung out with all the time. That dude had a roommate. So now follow me, because this is fucked up. So Cow Patch's best friend has a roommate who's banging a girl that works for him at the strip club that he manages. So she's a stripper. So the best friend is now banging the roommate's girlfriend. Cow Patch starts banging the same girl behind his best friend's back. So now she's cheating on the guy that she's cheating on. I'm not kidding. So she like semi moves in with Cow Patch. I won't say actually moves in, but like they were definitely talking about it. I heard them talk about it. And she like had stuff at his house. She was always at his house. And then he found out that she cheated on him, and he was fucking devastated, like heartbroken. Talking like he went off the deep end. He took off. He didn't call out of work. He just like ran away to a hotel.
He didn't know that he was sleeping with a girl that had a boyfriend.
No. So by this point, she's broken up with the boyfriend. She's stopped fucking the best friend, and she's cheating on Cowpatch with a new guy. The fact that he's heartbroken about her cheating is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, like
it's absolutely
you saw
fascinating,
that coming, dude. I mean, and that's like this girl. I knew, like, she's gonna get tired of this guy if they're still together.
Yeah,
and find somebody else. And it's gonna be the same fucking routine. Like, so I forgot how we got on this subject, Pat, but
because of your ex-girlfriend who was married.
She wasn't my girlfriend.
Okay.
It was a girl I was sleeping with.
Yeah. You're going to be weird about titles. This is like when I call the documentary a DVD. You know what the fuck I'm saying.
Neither of what you're saying are true. So.
But you get what I mean.
Pat, you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts.
All right. So you're saying you don't know what I mean? Because that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, you know what I mean, and you're going, no, that's not true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
You're entitled to your own opinion, Pat, but you're not entitled to your own facts.
I think I am entitled to my own facts.
Huh?
If it's a fact. Why are you not entitled to facts?
Your own facts, like making up your own facts.
Oh, I'm not making up my own facts.
Do you not get what that? You don't know what that's from, do you?
No.
Okay.
No. Do you not know what I mean when I say it?
I do. But
okay,
it was a joke.
I'm just making sure.
That's why I've said it multiple times through the whole thing. It was a joke.
I still don't know what that's from.
It's what Pence kept saying to Harris in the debate.
No, I didn't watch the second debate because the first debate was that bad.
The second debate was phenomenal.
I'm sure it was much better than the first. I say that without seeing it because I know that it couldn't have possibly been worse.
Well, they canceled the second presidential debate, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to get into politics anymore on the show.
Yeah.
You want to do some Would You Rather's, Pat?
Are we done with your story?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where we're in. I haven't talked to her in years now. I really have no intention on it, talking to her ever again.
What if she makes a new home for herself? You don't want to wreck that one too, homewrecker?
I didn't wreck that house. She wrecked it herself. Again, Pat, I don't feel bad that I did it. She was going to cheat on him with somebody, and I just decided to be the guy.
Yeah, you just filled the void.
Yeah, and it was a good run. We had like probably 6 months of us banging out. Got a couple hotel rooms in there. It was fun.
What the fuck does he think his wife was doing during this period of time?
Well, I know that one of the times that, he always thought that she was working.
Well, I'm sure she worked till close, right?
Yeah.
Which was 2?
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Okay. So I assume you guys did not have 30-second runs out back every week.
Yeah, but then they have to clean and all that stuff.
She was shining something up.
Actually, I think they closed at 1. But most of the people are already almost out of there, so they, like, sometimes I'd help them clean. You know what I mean? Get out of there right at 1.
Yeah.
Get a couple hours, smash out, have a good old time.
I understand you.
She'd go home and go to sleep. I go home. Well, I go to my truck and go to sleep. And I go to work.
Nice.
Those were the days, man. Those were the days.
Would you even have sex in that spot nowadays?
With my wife?
Sure.
Probably not.
Right? Like, I feel there's like, I guess, I don't know, once you have your own place, maybe.
You want to hear a fucking creep? So we were at the movie theater by where we were.
Yeah.
One night.
Yeah.
I was behind there. I was getting a BJ, right?
Yeah.
I was having a good time. Just, nodding along, enjoying life. And all of a sudden, this car starts rolling up to us with headlights on.
Yeah.
And her husband, I believe, drove a Blazer.
Oh, this is the same girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he drives it, and I could tell by the headlights, it's some sort of Chevy.
Yeah.
Like a Blazer. And I'm like, oh my God, your husband's going. It was a fucking security guard caught us fucking her giving me a BJ, dude, in the parking lot. I thought for sure it was a husband, dude. I thought I was dead.
Not that this makes us Eskimo brothers, but maybe like Eskimo cousins. I was hooking up with a chick in that parking lot, and she was giving me the old guac, guac. And I also saw a set of headlights, so I was like, time out on this. And she, you know, does what she needs to do to make herself presentable. I zip up and knock, knock, knock on the window with the big long flashlight. Roll down the window. The cop's like, everything okay, ma'am?
They fucking did it, Pat.
Who did what?
I fucking called it. I called it on Thursday.
What's that?
The Falcons lose.
They're going to fire the coach.
And I just got the ESPN update. They fired him today.
Well, see, I asked the question. I knew it was coming.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys would have lost today, McCarthy would have been fired too.
Anyways.
Not to break into Thursday's episodes, but the Falcons lost and the Cowboys won.
True story. So this girl, the bank girl, is what we always called her. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember what her name was. So we're going with the bank girl.
Real nice bet.
So anyways, this cop knocks with the flashlight. I roll down the window, or she rolls down the window. I think he's on her side. Well, he's certainly on her side. That'll make sense in a second. So he's like, everything okay? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, you're sure you're fine? And she's like, yep. And he's like, nobody's making you do anything you don't want to do. And she's like, do you see all the steam in the windows? You think that's for me fighting him off? And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get arrested because she can't watch her mouth. And her and the cop, not that they got into it, but they did go back and forth a little bit. And she was just such a wicked asshole to him. And the whole time I was just like, could you please, for the first time tonight, shut your fucking mouth? So eventually he like walked away and I was just like, I'm going to get you home. You're an idiot. Ugh.
You didn't have her finish?
No, I think the cop was going to go ahead and make us leave first, Tom.
You couldn't find another parking lot?
I'm sure I could have. At that point, I just wanted her to never be seen with me again.
You have incredible, what's the word? Self-control.
I do. That's a fact.
Well, home rubbed it on instead. Good for you.
It's not the first time I've taken matters into my own hand.
You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you get with this, for this is where it's at. Here they come.
All right, so we're going to do some Would You Rathers.
Yep.
I got a list of 86 here. We're going to do the first 11 and skip over one because we've already done it.
What the fuck? We're going to do 10 of them right now?
Yeah, it'll be quick.
All right. I'm in.
Jeez, the fuck's your problem, Pat?
I just feel like these are like conversation topics, not
Not
exactly.
really. They should be pretty... All right, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Starting at number 1. Would you rather have to announce to everyone around you whenever you have to fart or pee your pants daily?
I think you read that question wrong. Would you rather have to announce to everyone around you whenever you have to fart or pee your pants daily?
Oh.
And I'm going to go with I would announce when I have to fart. I do. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not exactly a change.
Yeah, that's actually what the comment underneath here says.
It does.
That's an easy one. I'm going with that one as well. The number 2 on his list we did with Paul Walker. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? Pat and I disagree on that one. I'm fighting the horse-sized duck.
What you got going on over there, bro? You got the hiccups?
No, man, I'm bourbon. Is that okay with you?
That's gross.
All right. Would you rather be a tree or have to live in a tree for the rest of your life?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go live in a tree for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'm fine with living in a tree.
Yeah.
Why would I want to be a tree?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's cool. Fun fact, aspen trees aren't individual trees. An aspen grove is actually one living organism.
Interesting.
Cool.
I don't know what an aspen tree is.
Me neither.
Harry, I'm talking about a little place called Aspen.
You want me to pull that clip too?
Where the beer flows like wine. Where the beautiful women instinctively flow like the salmon of Capistrano. That's a great clip, man.
You're in a crowded room. Would you rather fart loudly and everyone laughs at you? Or be the only one laughing obnoxiously when someone else farts?
That's a great question. Oh, shit. I think I would rather have everyone laugh at me. Here's why. At least they're laughing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be the one standout that's laughing because that's a fucked up situation.
You know who would be the one standout? And I would guarantee it.
Who's that?
My fucking
Erica.
wife.
Yeah,
Yes.
all day.
And then the little comment underneath this one is, farts are hilarious and nobody can claim otherwise. Yes, my wife, you cannot say the word fart in front of my wife without her laughing.
She's laughing listening to this right now, guaranteed.
Yes, fart, fart, fart. Would you rather begin every sentence with, hey, idiot, or end every sentence with, haha, I was just kidding?
Okay.
I'm going to begin every sentence with, hey, idiot.
I'm going to go with haha, I was just kidding. Here's why. Do you remember the run I went on? It was probably a year or 2 years of every time I told somebody to do something, I then winked at them so they couldn't tell if I really wanted them to do it or not.
Nice.
Were you working with me at that point?
No.
Oh, my
Pat,
God.
I worked for you for such a small span of my life.
Mason will vividly remember it. Actually, Corey down in Virginia will also remember anything I told them to do. Or if they like ask me a question, like a yes, no question, I would give them an answer and then wink at them. And they would just stand there completely dumbfounded because they had no clue what they were supposed to do. It was a good time.
These are supposed to be funny. Would you rather? Some of these are not funny. Would you rather live one life that lasts 1,000 years or live 10 lives that last 100 years each?
Ooh.
I don't know. I guess what the fuck's the difference? You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
I mean, the only difference is you get 10 different. I mean, if you're living for 1,000 years, it's the same thing as living 10 lives for 100 years. You're just 10 different bodies.
Well, no, because you're restarting. So, like, would you rather play a video game that, you know, is 1,000 hours, or would you rather play 10 different games that are 100 hours each? I would rather play the 10 games. I would rather take the 10 lives.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 1,000 hours.
Okay.
All right.
You'd be wise as shit at the end of 1,000 years, but you probably wouldn't be in the best physical condition.
Would you rather be without elbows or be without knees?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with knees.
I'm going to go with elbows. You could still walk at least.
But see, my whole thing was at least you can still use your arms and jerk off.
All right, well, yeah, I still think it would be easier to live without elbows.
Well, listen.
You could drill a little hole in your bed and stick a pocket pussy in there, and fuck that, you wouldn't have to jerk off. Living without knees, you're immobile.
Yeah, that's why they have wheelchairs, bro. They don't have anything for your fucking arms.
All right, you know what? I bet they do.
I haven't seen them.
Me
I've
either.
seen fucking wheelchairs.
That's true.
Would you rather fart really loud or poop your pants silently?
Fart really loud all day.
Well, Pat's done both, so we have to take the advice from him.
True story. I try to push loud farts.
Yeah, and that's how he poops his pants silently. Would you rather have diarrhea every day for the next 3 months or be constipated every day for the next 3 months?
Diarrhea all day. I've had diarrhea for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing. Would you rather use eye drops made of vinegar or toilet paper made of sandpaper?
Oh my God.
I'm going with sandpaper. Yeah, I'm going with sandpaper.
I don't know how damaging vinegar would be to the eyes. Like, if
I can tell you this is going to fucking burn.
yeah. If it just hurts and then goes away, I'm going vinegar. But if that's going to blind you, I'm going toilet paper. Like, that's and what grit is the toilet paper? If this is 36 grit, you're going to be scarred on your asshole. If this is 100 grit, it's basically just going to chip away any chunks you got back there.
I'm going to
What the
go
fuck,
with
man?
300 grit sandpaper.
300 grit sandpaper? That's basically toilet paper.
Yeah,
It'd probably just exfoliate.
I really hate to put my parents on blast, dude, but their toilet paper that they use at their house, it's Scott's. They use the Scott's brand.
No, you don't like that, huh?
It's the worst fucking toilet paper I've ever used in my entire life.
Are you a Charmin user?
No, people are gonna laugh, but I'm gonna say it right now, the best. Pat, would you agree that the toilet paper that I use in my house is very good?
I don't remember having an issue with it.
It's fucking Big Lots toilet paper,
Okay.
and it's very soft. It's very thick. It's very nice.
So what you're saying is you like a thick one against your asshole.
Yeah, I like something that's soft, like a blanket.
But thick.
Well,
Let me ask you, when you're wiping, do you really dig in there and make sure you get everything? Do you dig the thick one right in there?
I knew you were going with this as soon as you said that.
What are you
fucking
talking about? I'm
asshole.
just asking a question about your toilet paper, bro.
You know what, man?
Yeah, you button hooked me. I didn't know you were gonna button hook me.
All right, so yeah, I'm going with sandpaper. You're going eye drops, I think. Would you rather be a clown who distracts the bull or the cowboy who rides the bull?
Cowboy all day.
Yeah, cowboys are way cooler than that fucking stupid clown.
Unless it's Lane Frost, then the bull, the clown.
I don't know who Lane Frost is, so.
There's a movie called 8 Seconds about Lane Frost's life. One time he got bucked off of a bull, then the bull stomped on his nuts,
Oof.
and then another time he got killed by the bull. So,
Oh, he did.
yeah, he
He
gone.
gone. All right, man. That's tenable. We'll do these on next Monday's episode or maybe on Thursday's episode. We'll see. We might have a special guest on Thursday as well, Pat.
It's not going to be Thursday, unless you have a different special guest.
Oh,
You were talking about my special guest?
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be towards the end of the month.
Now we have to wait until the end. Well,
He's doing some extracurricular studying and has a big test on the 27th. Once he's through with his test, he will be joining us on the podcast.
so we'll say early November.
That's fine. Ooh, you know what we should do?
Hopefully we have openings.
No, let's call it now. Let's have him on for Veterans Day,
Okay.
November 11th.
That's a Tuesday.
Okay, it'll be Thursday's episode.
I'm not sure that it's actually a Tuesday. I always thought Veterans Day was on a Tuesday. I could be wrong.
Maybe it has been on a Tuesday, and that's where you're getting it from.
Well, it was at some point. It's definitely been on
It's
a
a
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday, so we'll have him on for the 12th, and we'll record on Veterans Day.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. Pat, anything you want to add?
No, I got nothing.
What else is fucking?
Another apology for last episode when I was literally sleeping just like in my seat.
Yeah, it was a good time. I thought.
It was awful. Have you listened to it?
Part of it, yeah, it
Sorry.
came out okay.
It's not awful.
It's not our worst one because, well, maybe for the people that are listening now, because maybe they haven't heard episode 1.
Episode 1 was pretty bad.
It was not good for sure.
No.
All right. Make sure you go to the website, number9podcast.com, or email us, the9podcast@gmail.com, or get us at Twitter at number9pod. Pat, what's our Twitter?
Number 9 pod.
Or no, our Instagram.
I knew what you meant. I just couldn't resist. Our Instagram
It's
is
at number9pod, just so we're clear.
Our Instagram is number 9 podcast with Tommy. Nope, it's number 9 with Tommy podcast. Hey, I posted several pictures recently that are pretty fucking funny. You should give them a look-see. And on that, I say good day.
Yeah, good day.